Do you want to spice up your game with some new cool characters roaming around? Well, I'm here to help you both create them and export them into your game. Okay, the first thing you need is Blender. Blender is a software for creating 3D characters, animations, and a lot more. This video will teach you the very basics about Blender, but won't make you a pro in any way. So I suggest that you, after this video, look up some more Blender tutorials if you want to get better at it. If you already know Blender and just want to get to the part where we already have created the character, you can skip to this timestamp. Here we have the viewport where we can see your creation, here we have different options, and here we have different tools. The only thing I'm going to are the things that you actually need to create a simple character. You spin by either using this globe up here or by simply holding down the middle mouse button and using the mouse. We can create new meshes by pressing the add button up here. These are different modes that we can use to do different things. And we will first focus on edit mode and object mode. In object mode we change the layout of the objects, while we in edit mode change the actual objects. So we start off by creating the form of our character in edit mode. We use a cube to just get some shape of our torso. We can then press a Y here to look at it from the front. Let's now move it up a bit just to make it nicer by selecting everything by pressing A and then choosing the move tool. Now we have to go here and add a mirror modifier. Modifier are things that we can add to our object to modify them in different ways. Now go down and choose the mirror one. This will mirror the cube, and therefore whatever we do on this side will happen on this side. Then enable clipping. Now we can move the cubes together to make the character less thick. However, if we press here to see the inside of the cube, we can see there is a face in between here. We want to get rid of this, so press up here to choose faces, and then we can select the face inside of the cube and press delete. Now we can switch back to the normal view. Let's also make the character less thick by selecting everything by pressing A and then S to scale it. Then press the Y to scale it along the Y axis. Now let's start actually shaping our character. We can select the face that we want to extrude and then press E to use it. If only there was an extrude tool in real life. To then make some shoulders, since you're not a complete square, or at least I hope you're not. You should probably get it checked out in that case. Anyways, we select the face again and press R to rotate it, and then Y to rotate it along the Y axis. Now we can press E here to extrude again. We can then rotate this a bit by pressing R and then Y. We can then create arms by using the extrude tool again by pressing E. To make the hands we can use the extrude tool again and extrude them from the arms. However, we don't want the hands to be as thick as the arm of the character, so we can press S after pressing E to scale the extrude. Then scale it to a size you're satisfied with, even though size doesn't matter, and then you can extrude it. Next, press off clipping here and do the same thing for the legs. Cut out the bottom part of the legs by using the loop cut tool here, and then going here and selecting where you want the line to be. Go up here and choose faces again, and then we can extrude the feet. Finally, let's make a head for a character by adding a new cube and scaling it down to the right size. Now we can switch back to object mode and press apply here on the modifier. Okay, next we're going to add a skeleton to the character. This makes the character able to move different parts and not just as a whole. We do this by going to add and choosing armature. We now get a bone that we can place inside of the character. No, not that sort of bone, you silly goose. Let's go into edit mode again and press up here to make us able to see through the character. Let's first create the spine. Create a bone somewhere around where the spine usually is. Then we can choose the head of the bone and press E to extrude it. This will create another bone which we can scale and place it where we want it to be. Do as many bones as you feel unnecessary, but remember to have a hole dedicated for the head so it can move. Next, the arms. We add another bone here and move it where we want it to be. Now we need to do something new. We need to parent the other bone. This means that whatever this bone does, this will follow. But this can do things and this won't follow. Just a quick analogy. Let's say, and this is only a hypothetical, that I kidnap you and keep you in my basement. If I were to move city, then you would of course have to follow me. But I don't have to follow you down into the basement. So you can do anything you want down there, but it doesn't affect me as a parent. But whatever I do affects you as a child. We can parent the bone by first selecting the child bone, then the parent bone, right clicking and choosing make parent. We now choose keep offset, as we want this bone to stay over here. As you see, if I were to move this bone, this will follow, but if I move this bone, this don't follow. Continue doing the arms by extruding the bones, and then we can select the whole arm, right clicking and choosing duplicate. Press R to rotate it and then Y to rotate it along the Y axis, and then just move it into place. I'm pretty sure you know what to do with the legs, so let's just quickly do it. Future me editing this. I don't know what the f I smoked before making this video, but for the legs you actually have to create one bone for the thigh and one for the chin, not just a single bone for the whole leg. So yeah, do 2 bones, not 1. Everything else in this video should apply to it either way. Finally, we have to connect the bones to the actual character. We do this by an object mode, first pressing the body, then the skeleton, choosing parent, and then automatic weights. You can't move it in object mode, but if you go to pose mode, you can actually move the bones. Finally, we of course need to give our character some color. We can do it by first choosing the character, and then opening the materials tab down here. Then press the plus sign and choose new material. Also, go into viewport shading mode up here, as you otherwise can see the textures. Next, go back into edit mode so you can see specific faces. Let's start off with some brown for our shoes. Then choose the faces that you want to make brown. Choose the brown material and then just press assign. Ta-da! Shoes. Let's add some more color. And bam, we have a nice character. Ah, fuck, we forgot to add a neck. But it's easy. Let's just choose all the faces of the head, then move the head up a bit, and then we can choose the face and extrude it as a neck. Let's also change the armature so we have a neck bone. Do this by first going back to object mode, then change it so you can see through the character, choose the armature, and then go back into edit mode. Then you can choose the head bone, right click and choose subdivide. This will turn the head bone into several smaller bones, and we can scale these bones and make them fit. And then we can use color the neck by choosing the body and going back to edit mode. Now to smoothen it down, we can choose here and add another modifier. Go down and choose the subdivision modifier. As you see, this will divide the faces into smaller ones and make it appear more smooth. Scale this up to something about 3, and then we can head back into object mode. Let's also scale it down a bit, as it is fucking 5 meters tall! Imagine seeing this thing when you're outside. Let's scale it down to something about 2 meters. The only thing we have to do now is export it to our Unreal project. But first, double click up here and change this name to root. Next, select our armature and character and press up here on file. Now choose export and choose the FBX format. Then name it to something, and then choose limit to selected objects, as we only want the character and its armature. Also, go down here and click off add lead bones. Now with this said, there's sometimes a problem with Unreal that it removes your most outer bones. So if you later on in Unreal notice that your character's hand bones aren't there, you can add extra bones to the most outer bones. This makes it so that Unreal moves them instead of the bone that you actually want. Now you can export it. Now you just have to open the folder you exported it to and drag the file into Unreal. Ta-da! You have your own character. If you want to, you can change the third person character's mesh into yours and just turn it around and fix it a bit. And now you can move around. However, as you see, you're just T-posing around, so check out my video about animating your character.